Good morning.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm alright, I
Mhm.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so today we were just gonna have a chat. You got passed to me from a physical therapist also, just to have a little talk. So I understand that you had a little slip and fall about 2 years ago. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
I was taking a shower, as you do,
Mm-hmm.
and I almost fell, but I caught myself. But I think I caught myself in a weird position.
Yeah.
I made like a very strange movement with my back, and since then, yeah, 4 years now, I've had back pain.
Yeah. And what did you do after you experienced that near slip to help your pain?
I mean, I went to a bunch of professionals. I went to a chiropractor. I went to some guy who said it was my SI joint. I
Yeah.
went to a bunch of people for help, but I mean, we're still here, so it hasn't been very
Helpful.
productive. Yeah.
Right, okay. And so can you tell me a little bit of that? How did you feel to around that time?
I mean, it sucked
Yeah.
because you go to a professional and you want help, and everybody keeps having like different diagnoses.
Mhm.
And so far, like, it doesn't make any sense to me that it hasn't been able to be solved, because I've had MRIs and X-rays, and they all come out. I mean, depending on who reads it, they'll say, oh, there's nothing major, there's nothing major. Some people even say there's nothing going on. So it doesn't make any sense to me why I still have pain.
Right, okay. So I hear a lot of the people that you've gone to, they've tried to find something that was wrong, and unfortunately they didn't find anything.
Yeah.
But did they take a moment to explain to you what the pain was or what was happening inside of your body that was the reason you were still experiencing this?
I mean, not really. They focus more on like the structural problems.
Yeah.
Structural impairments. So at first I thought it was like a fracture, like a hairline fracture, because Google says sometimes hairline fractures don't show up on X-rays and stuff.
Right.
So that's what I thought it was, but you do X-rays and everybody says a different thing. People can read stuff into it. So yeah,
Okay.
it was. I feel defeated, for lack of a better word. I feel
Yeah.
defeated.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry that you feel that way.
Mm.
Going back to what you just said about Google, did
Mm.
you do a lot of Googling?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I mean, with all the conflicting information I was getting from the professionals, I figured might as well, do some research for myself. So yeah, I did a lot of Googling. WebMD is like permanently saved on my browser because they have some really great information.
Yeah. Okay. Very understandable.
Mm.
Now that I've gotten to understand you a little bit more, would you like maybe to hear what I think the pain is and maybe have some information tailored towards you about the pain that you're experiencing?
I mean, that's what the physiotherapist said I was coming here for. But I mean, I know what pain is from Google.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me what is pain for you?
Okay, so pain happens when there's structural damage, and it's your body sending signals to fix it. So your white blood cells get all activated, and they go in there and they take away all the pathogens that probably might be there, and that's
Right.
why you feel the pain and the inflammation.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds like a very detailed description there.
Yeah, I like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Did it mention anything else? Did it mention anything about maybe chronic pain or any other terms that might be suited towards you?
No, not really, because I was just looking at pain,
Yeah.
So I don't really consider myself to have chronic pain. In my head, it's more
Now pain.
yeah, chronic pain is more about like MS, multiple sclerosis. Those people have chronic pain. Yeah, but I haven't considered. Do you think I have chronic pain?
I think Giving you a little explanation, yeah, I do think you have chronic pain, and I do have like a little explanation and a little metaphor that I would like to use with you,
Okay.
just to give you a little perspective of what I think pain is.
Cool.
But something to remember, especially when doing your Googling, is that Google, even though it is a place where we get information, it's so much information, you know? And what might be tailored for you and what's going on with you might not be happening to this person over here. But if you're reading the same article, you're gonna think it's for both of you. So what I would like to do now is to tell you something that is for you, and so how we can understand this pain a little bit more.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So you mentioned that Google said that there's structural damage when
Yes.
there is pain.
Yes.
Right. But we clearly saw in your MRI that there was no structural damage, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what's happening, right? We're having like these sensations. Our body, true, is protecting us with the pain, but sometimes our body can have like a tripped wire, meaning we have an alarm system in our body. Imagine you're at work, you're at home, and your alarm system goes off. Do you have an alarm system?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's code. Yeah.
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 And all of a sudden you were just like making pasta or something, your alarm goes off, and the ambulance and all of the medical services start coming to your house. But when they get there, there's no fire, but all of them came. That's kind of what's been happening a little bit here with something we call chronic pain. You have the sensation that is there, it's absolutely there, you're feeling that pain, but there's no end mark where it should be going because it actually is healed. So it is the body trying to protect you, but it's doing it by itself without having that fall right away.
So my alarm system is into overdrive, and it's sending all these signals and getting all the fire people to come and put out an imaginary fire that's no longer, or that isn't there at all.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're having all of these feelings, but we're not having that injury. So it's like tricking the body a little bit, you know, not something that we want to be happening right now. But what can we be doing in the meantime to get away from that, to try and before I mention that, what I wanted to say was that about the chronic pain. You mentioned that it can't be chronic pain, you know, that's not what it sounds like for you. But do you know what exactly chronic pain is?
Yeah, multiple sclerosis.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, what if I told you that chronic pain just means that you've had pain for more than 6 months?
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not sick or nothing. It's just
No,
because
you
the
just
pain's just gone on for long.
Yeah, you just had it for over a certain amount of time to not make it acute, but now it's chronic.
That's a whole other world on Google.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very vague, very broad information that we're getting there. It's very important to get it tailored towards you. So now moving forward, what can we do about this to get out of this little cycle? You mentioned that you're not moving as much, you're not going to your activities. Why is that?
Because I don't want to further damage any structures that might be hurt, you know?
Yeah.
Like the hairline fracture, for instance, when you have a hairline fracture, it seems as though it's not a big deal, but when you keep moving the bone, it might then like widen the fissure and it'll like break further. So that's the reason why I stopped doing all of them, because it was a gradual process. I was trying to keep up with my activities, but after a while, I just told myself I don't want to hurt myself further, you know? When the pain wasn't going away, I figured it was probably something I was doing. So I just decided to get that done with. Yeah.
Right, okay. Very understandable. It's a lot of people do take that path when being healed.
Yeah.
However, I'd like to show you a little model just to explain this a little bit more clearer. We have, as you can see, right here, we have the pain experience, the injury. So this is what you experienced, and you had your pain experience here. So this is when you had that fall and that fray. But what did you do afterwards to get on top of the pain? You mentioned you went to
Specialist. Yeah.
And when you were there, like, and no one was answering your questions, how did you feel?
felt helpless, really. I felt defeated. Like, if these people who have all these degrees don't
Yeah.
know what's wrong with me, then how could I ever know what's wrong with me, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that made you a little sad? How are you?
Yeah, it made me sad. It made me hopeless.
Yeah. And that right there, as you can see, this is like a little cycle that we're looking at, is a very common path to take, because we have two paths. You know, we have a positive way and one that we don't have that much information, so we start spiraling a little bit.
Yeah.
And so now we see the negative route that we might have took, you know, not moving, being sad, not finding the answers that we need or want. And this can actually prolong the effects of the sensation itself, keeping it in our body. You know, we're not being listened to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now what can we do to try and get off of this loop here? What do you think is necessary for you?
I think we have to get to the point where we had a crossroads, and then instead of taking the negative path, we take the positive path.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
So now at this path, we have two options. The first one is where you decided to stop all your activities. You gave up kind of on the medical advice and you
Yeah.
went to Google.
Yeah.
But what do you think the other path can include?
I assume it's the opposite of like keeping the activities going and
Yeah.
putting my faith in medical staff.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Or also in yourself, faith in yourself. That's what's most important.
Okay.
Faith in yourself, and you're like you say, the moving.
Yeah.
So what would be a goal of yours that you would want to achieve?
I mean, to get moving again, to get my
That's
life back on track, you know, working out and just like living my life how I would if I wasn't
Yeah.
having pain.
Okay. And we see obviously you haven't been moving that much. Your back is not as strong as it used to be, as you've been mentioned.
Yeah.
So how do you think we get that back there? How do you
Think
imagine
we get my back stronger.
back stronger? Yeah.
Well, I assume it's like gym stuff where you go in there, you're weak, and over time, over slow or light weights,
Mhm.
you start getting stronger, and then you increase the weights and increase the load over time.
Mm-hmm.
Could that be what we would do with my back? We start small and then work our way up.
Yeah, for sure. We actually have a therapy where it's called graded exposure, and we just show you what you can do at a very basic level, and then we gradually build you up until you are able to go back to the gym and do what you want to do.
Yeah.
So that is something you'd be interested in.
That seems like a really smart option, actually.
Yeah, I think that is a really great option.
Mm.
And is there anything else that you enjoy in your free time that you would be able to pick up on?
I mean, I like to swim.
Swimming is great.
Yeah, water's fabulous.
Yeah,
Mm.
so for sure, picking up the gym again and starting some exercises. How does this make you feel to start going on the other side of the path?
I think this other path puts me in control of my situation as opposed to where the pain was in control. So I think it would put me on top of it where I'm the one who's deciding this is how much I can move and this is what I can do.
Yeah.
Plus if I could swim, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah,
important.
it's very encouraging.
Oh, that's great.
Mm.
I'm really happy to hear that.
Yeah.
So, would you be able to just give me a little summary of what we've been talking about today? For example, what pain means to you now, and how we're gonna how we're gonna move towards getting better.
Okay. So pain is a response to something. However, long-term pain like mine can be likened to an alarm system where the pain is responding to something that isn't really there.
Yeah.
And I had previously chosen the not so positive path where I wasn't moving anymore and I was letting the pain dictate my life.
Yeah.
But now, knowing what pain is, and knowing that there's no real structural damage, then I can decide to start moving again and gradually go up to where my back used to be strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds great. How does that feel, knowing so much? Powerful, huh?
Yeah, it's it's empowering.
Yeah.
I no longer feel like I have to, you know, live with pain. I can actually like live my life now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. So what I would like us to do is you can get looking for pools in the area to see what's going to be happening, and we'll start focusing on strengthening your back like you mentioned.
Yeah.
And we'll go more into depth about certain exercises or movements that you might want to be focused on.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.